Ngayon sa Profile Overseas Diaries, isang espesyal na kwento ang ihahandog namin sa inyo. Ito'y kwento ng kakaiba at di inaasahang pagtatagpo ng isang ina at ng sanggol na napulot sa labi at mga guho matapos ang malagim at mapangwasak na Super Typhoon Yolanda, ang itinuturing na pinakamalakas at pinakamapanirang bagyo sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas na tumama sa Leyte noong Nobyembre taong 2013. Samahan niyo kami sa kwento ng mag-inang si Maria at Rosamia. Tuklasin natin kung papaanong nabuo ang isang masayang pamilya mula sa isang kakilakilabot na trahedya. Ako si Dong Robles.
No. You have the wrong person. No. My mind was already going in so many directions. And then there was a nun nearby, heard the whole thing. And she said, Day, kunin mo yung bata. Take the child, because if you don't, they will just leave them on the sidewalk. I go, what? That's what they do. Take the child. I go, oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Name? Ma'am, walang pangalan. Pinangalan ko ng princess. Huh? Just like that. And I go, okay, kalbo. Ang daming sugat. Lots of scabs in the skin. It didn't look good. Dark, black eyes, like a lollipop, skinny body, big head, big tummy, and I'm going, okay, are you a boy or a girl? Because bald. I lifted up the little t-shirt and I go, okay, a girl.
Ganito isinalarawan ni Maria ang kanyang kauna-unahang encounter sa isang sanggol na inilapit sa kanya habang nagsasagawa ng relief operations sa Cebu, katatapos pa lamang ng Super Typhoon Yolanda.
175-mile-per-hour storm closing in. One of the strongest storms ever to tear across the ocean.
Isang inosenteng anghel na nasa bingit ng panganib ng sakit, pagkagutom at kamatayan. Walang umaangkin, di tiyak kung nasaan ang mga magulang o kung buhay pa ang mga ito o kahit mga kapatid. Sa kakaiba at ekstraordinaryong pagtatagpo na ito, mabubuo ang isang bago at masayang pamilya na punong-puno ng pagkalinga at pagmamahal. Ikawalo ng Nobyembre taong 2013, nang maglandfall sa Eastern Samar ang tinatayang isa sa pinakamalakas at pinaka-destructive na bagyo na naitala sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas at kumitil sa buhay ng mahigit sa 5,600 kababayan natin at nag-iwan ng libo-libong sugatan at nawawala. Isang kakilakilabot na kalamidad na mag-uugnay kay Maria at Rosamia.
My family was all communicating with me. Are you okay? What's going on? And I said to everyone, we're fine. But the city, the islands basically shut down. You know, banks, offices, any of that were all shut down, closed, because a lot of storm has also, toppled rooftops and trees down. So the roads were not passable. So a lot of things were down. So what do we do now? So then the city of Cebu connected with all the churches, since there was no school, all the gymnasiums in the schools, opened it up for all of the refugees to come to Cebu. And how they got there were either by boats, whatever that could get there by boats, airplane. The military, the Philippine Air Force donated all of their C-130s, the A-130s, their big planes, and picked up, passengers from all over and brought them to Cebu. And what we did as Cebuanos, we were the welcoming committee, welcoming them in. And if whoever had cars can accommodate people in their cars and brought them, we were given, areas of where we can take the refugees too that was open, because they were filling up fast. So I was part of that committee to help out. I volunteered. I basically went up to the barangay and I said, I'm here. I'm able to do this. I'm healthy. I can jump, I can run, I can walk. Tell me what I need to do to help out.
Tila providential ang pagkakataon na nasa Pilipinas si Maria noong mga panahong iyon. Bago mangyari ang Super Typhoon Yolanda ay umuwi si Maria sa Pilipinas matapos na mahimok ng isang kaibigan na maging distributor ng relief, isang multinational company ng health products and nutrition. Habang naiwan ang kanyang Amerikanong asawa na si David matapos ang milyong-milyong dolyar na pagkalugi ng kanilang negosyong real estate sa US dahil na rin sa recession. Ito ang nagbigay daan kay Maria na magkaroon ng personal na karanasan na makatulong sa ating mga kababayan sa pagiging aktibong bahagi ng mga feeding programs ng kanilang kumpanya para sa mga bata sa iba't ibang probinsya ng bansa, bagay na hindi niya nagawa noong siya ay nasa Amerika.
So our company does a lot of feeding. That's part of the heart that we have in our company with Relive, is we have a foundation called the Calogres Foundation. And what that is we have places in different, extreme parts of the country where there's a lot of, malnutrition among children and a lot of children that need help. So we partnered up with a few churches and they were able to connect with us, and Relive was able to donate products each and every month to help these children in their different barangay. So what I did was I went to these barangays and I went to meet the people that were in charge. I wanted to know results. I wanted to know what's happening. How long has this child been drinking this product? What was this child like before? And they would show me videos, they would show me pictures, what this child was like and to where this child is today. And because of that foundation, we were able to build schools. And by the way, this foundation is supported by different distributors around the world. So it's amazing. As independent distributors that we are, we give every month a portion of our earnings. We give every month voluntarily to say this goes to the Calogres Foundation to help out the children, underprivileged families around the world. And Philippines has the largest recipient, being 20,000 each and every day being fed this nutrition. And you see them, their grades, they're doing great in school, their well-being. And so that's what gives us the passion to continuously do the drive that we have, because it's not about how much money I'm going to make. It's about the more I make, the more I'm able to help another child in this province, this location. So about 2 years, I traveled to these provinces. I wanted to meet everyone. Yes. Sulok-sulok na talaga, where you're walking and tubig and it's like the water is up to your waist and it's all putik and mud, and I'm going, am I doing the right thing here? And then the kids that were bringing the products were all putting them on top of their head because they were short and they didn't want the products to get wet.
Nang wasakin ng Yolanda ang Samara Leyte, Cebu ang isa sa mga syudad na naging kanlungan ng mga biktima. Sa buhos ng mga nasalanta ng Super Typhoon, naroon si Maria sa ilang mga evacuation centers. na tumulong at nagpapakain sa mga biktima, lalong-lalo na sa mga bata, at dito rin mag-uugnay ang kanyang buhay at ang buhay ni Rosamia.
Here's what happened. I was observing the children. And as the children were given the food, the hamburger, the fried chicken, the spaghetti in front of them, they were just staring at it. They were not eating. And I asked the doctor, because he was in his suit, and I go, Doc, ba't hindi kumakain yung mga bata? They're just sitting on the floor with the food. Sabi niya, Maria, they're in the shock mode. Traumatic. They saw what happened. They saw their family swept away, wiped away by this huge tsunami. And that is part of the trauma. They were traumatized so much. And when a child is traumatized, they're kind of like in shock. And then still, they're not even playing. They're not walking around. They're not even talking. You can put food in front of them and they won't touch it. So what did I do? I went ahead and bought some big pail so I can make timpla with water and ice, and I mixed up some chocolate Relive product for the kids. Every kid loves chocolate, and I made it really sweet tasting. I made it delicious for them, and then I bought some little colored cups, yellows, the reds, the blues, not just plastic disposable cups. So, being around children, and I know how kids are with colors and all that, so they go, let's make it fun for them. So I went ahead and had a line. I talked to the doctors and I said, Doc, this is what I'm going to do different, not food, but this is nutrition to help the kids. Oh, sige, no problem. So we did that. We lined up the kids, we made songs, we made them sing, made them dance a little bit. We gave them coloring books, crayon and all of that. Then I gave them each a cup and I said, this is yours, huh? And I said, what is your name? And I'll write their names, a little happy face. This is yours, huh? So they felt like, I own something. So that was really nice. And then I gave them a scoop of the nice cold Relive chocolate beverage. They drank it. And they kept drinking it. And then within a few hours, the doctors noticed and observed, hey, they're moving, they're talking, now they're eating, now they're sleeping. So we were doing that for 6 weeks, traveling to different barangays every day, morning and afternoon. Morning, one barangay, afternoon, another barangay. It was at the Santo Rosario Church, the parish in downtown Cebu. We were there feeding them. It was wonderful, great. Then it was around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We were sweeping the area and, cleaning up because we were done. Then there was a guy that walked up to me with the baby in his arms. I looked at him and I go, hey, kumain ka na pa? Meron pa. What can I get you, Ma'am, hindi po, ma'am. Itong baby po, sabi ko, oh, okay. How can I help you? Ma'am, pauwi na po ako sa Tacloban, nag-aantay na po yung bus, hanapin ko yung pamilya ko, itong bata po, sa inyo na po. Sabi ko, excuse me? What do you mean sa inyo na po? Sabi niyo, ma'am, hindi ako ang magulang. Nadampot ko lang siya sa alon. I just picked this baby up from the rubble in Tacloban. And I have been here for 3 weeks now in different barangay, and I have seen you working with the kids. And I had to come and see you before leaving for my island. So here's this child. I am not the father. I don't know how to take care of one. I have no money and I'm single. So what can I do for this baby? And I go, oh, no. You have the wrong person. No.
Balot ng sugat, halos luwa ang mga mata. Nasa nakapanlulumong kondisyon at tila gutom na gutom. Ito ang kalagayan ng sanggol na tumambad kay Maria. Nasa sobrang pagkabigla at sa sobrang awa na naramdaman sa bata ay walang nagawa kundi tanggapin ito sa kanyang mga braso at ipaghele. Naguguluhan at di alam kung ano ang gagawin sa munting anghel, ay nanalangin ito ng kaliwanagan at senyalis ng kalooban ng Diyos para sa sanggol. At nang mahimasmasan ay ipinaabot ang pangyayari sa kanyang ina at asawang si David.
There was a chapel next to where I was. I went in and I said, Lord, what's the meaning to all this? I cannot have another child in my life. I've raised 5. I have 7 grandkids. David and I are retiring. We have plans. I cannot have another child in my life, but, promise, I will find a wonderful young family that's going to take care of her, teach her about you, that she knows about you, who you are, and I'm going to find that person. I promise you that. That's what I'm going to do. But definitely not me. I called up my mom, and she was in Manila at that time. And I said, Mom, you're not going to believe what just happened here. So I told her the story, and then Mom was listening, and I said, Mom, I can't have another child in my life. David and I are retiring. We have plans. We have so many things to do. And then Mom said her very words, Di, you really want to hear God laugh? Tell him your plans. That was all she said. God may have other plans for you. So then David calls me up. Oh, hi, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Can we do FaceTime, please? He says, okay. And I did this, and he looked at me, he says, why do you have a child in your arms? Here's the story. And then after telling him the story, he says, oh, no. Don't even think about it. We're done. You hear that? We're done. I said, I know. We are retiring. We have plans. Remember? I know. Please find a suitable family for this young child. Take her to the best pediatrician. Buy her some clothes. In the process, while you were looking for somebody, a family, take care of her. Get her some things. Get her taken care of. I said, yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Sa pagkakataong ito ay hindi na nag-aksaya pa ng oras si Maria at tumawag sa ilang miyembro ng kanyang pamilya, pati na ang mga kaibigan para hanapan ng mga posible at maaaring umampon sa bata. Subalit, tila may ibang plano ang Diyos.
That evening, I went online and I emailed and I texted and I asked, hey, this is what happened. Would you know of anybody that may be looking for a child, would like to adopt a child? And some said yes, some said no. And those that said yes, they were both from Canada and the US. And they asked me, okay, we're here. What do we have to do? I connected with my attorney the next day and I go, these are my friends that are looking at adopting. What do they have to do? Oh, Maria, they would have to live in Cebu for 5 years at least. Because if they don't do that, they're looking at $75,000 US for international adoption and so many paperwork to deal with and more expenses. If they're willing to do that, I'll be happy to connect them with the right attorney that can do all that for them. So I messaged my friends about that and they go, oh no, we can't. We have families here. We have our jobs here. They thought maybe it could be just as simple as them flying over and picking up the baby and then that would be it. Wouldn't that be nice if that was all it was, right? So it didn't work out that way. And then David and I prayed. I called him. We were talking longer this time on the phone and, we were praying together and, God, what are your plans for this?
Pasko ng 2013, sinadya man o hindi ng pagkakataon na masabay sa kapanganakan ng sanggol na si Jesus, nabunyag ang plano ng langit sa baby na ipinadpad ng trahedya at dinala kay Maria. Isang tawag mula kay David ang gumulantang sa kanya at naging hudyat ng radikal na pagbabago sa plano nilang pagre-retiro at tuluyang pagbabago sa kanilang buhay.
It was Christmas Eve, Philippine time, and it was Christmas in the US. He called me up early in the morning, and then he says, I just want to say that I have been praying. I got up early, and I saw this sunlight through the kitchen window just came through me, and I was sipping my coffee and this light was amazing, and I had just finished reading the Bible, And I went to the kitchen to get my coffee, and this light was just so strong. And I heard God talk to me, and I'm going, oh, he talked to you. And what did he say? And David said, I told God, God, I can't. I'm senior. I don't have a young body anymore. I'm old. And Maria, my wife, we're getting older. We can't raise a child. So I go, so what did God say to you, dear? This is what God asked me. What the heck is your problem? Do you not know Sarah and Abraham? How old was she when she had a baby? Am I not the same God that has always been there for you, provided for you? So, what I'm basically saying is take this child. And I'm going, oh? And then so he says, so dear, if you're willing to be a mommy again, I'm willing to be a daddy again.
Pinangalanang Rosamia, pinaikling Maria Rosario Lyons nang binyagan ang munting anghel sa isang simpleng pagdiriwang ng pagsalubong dito sa pananampalatayang Kristiyano, kasama si Maria, si David, at ilang mga ninong at ninang.
We gave her the name Maria Rosario. And why that name, Maria Rosario? It was so I would always remember she was given to me at the Santo Rosario Parish Church in Cebu, downtown Cebu City. So I wanted that name to be with her for life, Maria Rosario. Maria because I'm a Maria, and I've always loved the name Maria. My girls are Maria, and then there's a middle name. And so I gave her that name, Maria Rosario, and already used our last name, Lyons, at the baptismal certificate.
Ngunit hindi naging madali at simple ang pagsasaligal ng mag-asawa na maging anak si Rosamia. Umabot ng 8 taon ang naging proseso ng adoption, at dahil nga parehong American citizens si Maria at si David, may mga partikular na probisyon ng batas ang kinakailangan nilang pagdaanan at tugunan. Bagay na talagang pinagtiyagaan ng mag-asawa na gawin ng walang reklamo at pagsisisi.
We met up with the attorney again and got more information as to what needed to be done. And then the attorney told me, now Maria, while you are in process with the adoption, you both cannot be away from the Philippines. Meaning to say, you have to take turns in going back to the U.S. because while you're in process of adoption, a parent must always be with the child and not be left. It could be with a nanny, a yaya, an auntie, or grandparent. No, it has to be the adopting parent. So that was one of the rules. And then one of the things too that I had to, the attorney told me, and you're gonna have to make a trip to the U.S. You can be gone no more than 2 weeks away. You're gonna have to go to the U.S., get a consent form signed by each of your children saying that, yes, I approve of my mom and dad adopting a new sibling, a new child into our family. So part of the process of the adoption, the attorney told me we have to do 3 years worth of blotter, meaning to say her picture, the way she is now, and as she is aging, another picture put out in different circulation, newspaper, radio, television, her pictures up on the walls of the city hall, the area, the barangay where she may have been found. And that's where we're gonna have to put these photos just to make sure that no family is gonna come up and say, hey, that's my child. She's missing. So I had to wait 3 years, and we had to pay for all of the media, all of the television, the publication, and all of that. We were now going on the 4th or the 5th year, right? So then, David and I had to go through so many checklists, and So let me tell you two things. So one of them was, I had to fly to Manila because we were living in Cebu and stay at this clinic for 1 week. And we had a book that was about that thick. We had to answer page per page questions. Finally, it took about 3 weeks. We got the letter from the psychology department that said, congratulations, William David Lyons Sr., Maria C. Lyons, age, living in, have successfully completed the psychological examination, and it shows that they are fit mentally and physically, the way we think, the way we solve problems, that they are fit to raise a child at their age. We had a big laugh about that when we got that letter. So that was one of the things that we had to do, right? And then the second thing that we had to do was, one day I got a phone call from the attorney, and then he says, okay, we got a little glitch. And I said, what do you mean? What kind of glitch now? Well, it shows that you and David, I know you and David have been married for like what, at that time, maybe like 38 years now. Okay, so you were married in America, but you are not registered in the Philippines as married. So you are considered as two single people, and you cannot adopt a child. So what did we have to do? We had to go and get married. We had to go and get married. In the Catholic Church, it's a single, simple wedding, the two of us, just to show the marriage certificate that would be validated in the Philippines, in the vital records that we were married in the Philippines. So talk about hurdles that we had to go through. Now we're going into the 7th year. Oh, this is taking so long, and I'd be on the phone with the attorney. What's going on? What's taking so long? And then he says, Maria, we are doing a lot of investigation, mainly for David. And I go, why? We're investigating the family, his work history and all of that in America, and to where you are today, and then your life, your family. And I go, is that really all necessary? And then he says, the reason why, Maria, you and David fit the profile of child traffickers. And I said, what? And he says, here's the senior American married to a Filipina. Why are they adopting a child? Why? And so I said, what goes on in child trafficking? So then the attorney sat down with me and told me the whole thing. And I go, oh my goodness. I totally understand why they have to do all of the investigation. So I told David, and he says, oh boy, what else? What else? We're going on 7th year.
Sa tinagal-tagal ng proseso at mga sakripisyong pinagdaanan ng mag-asawa, walang pagsidlan ng pananabik at kasiyahan ang nadama ng mga ito nang dumating na ang pinal na court hearing para sa adoption.
Now, the day of court. The day of court. Now, before that court hearing, that morning, the attorney met with us early in the morning. And then he says, David, I don't know a whole lot about you, but Maria and I have been communicating. I know you don't know the entire story, everything that we had to do. Okay, so my job today is to make sure that you don't get up on that stand. Because if they start asking you questions, you would know how to answer. And that's not good. So we got there. So there we were in the courtroom. And then we were called. I was there, raised my hand, swore and this and that, answered all of the questions. Then the prosecutor says, I'm done with Mrs. Lyons. I'd like to call up on the stand the husband, David Lyons. And there David was walking towards me, and then he looked at me, and then he said, this is it. I said, I know. I was so scared inside of me. He got up there, state your name, your address, this and that, name of your wife, blah, blah, blah. On this day, and then immediately the attorney got up and says, Madam Prosecutor, Your Honor, Judge, we heard from Mrs. Lyons for 30 minutes, all the questions you needed to ask of her. Do you really want the same song and dance from Mr. Lyons, all he's going to say is the same thing that you heard from Mrs. Lyons. I mean, it's almost 12. We're all hungry. We've been here for a long, long time now. I mean, I still have clients to see, and I know you do too. You have a full day here. Can we just call it a day? I mean, we should be all done. You asked Mrs. Lyons all the questions. Prosecutor looked at the judge, and they all looked at each other, and then he says, okay, no further questions. And then the judge says, I have one more question. Mr. Lyons, at your age, what makes you think you can raise a child? And then David said, Your Honor, I know that I am not a young dad. I right now live a lifestyle of taking care of myself. I hike, I walk, I run. I'm very athletic, and I take the best supplements so I can be there raising my child. All I ever want to be is a full-time daddy. Is that so hard to do? Judge looked at the prosecutor, they looked at each other, and she just flipped her pencil and she says, no further questions. And then I looked at David and I was crying inside, and I said, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Lord. And David stepped down, and then I met him halfway and I gave him a big hug.
10 taong gulang na ngayon si Rosamia, at kahit nasa murang edad pa lamang ay batid na nito ang di pangkaraniwang kwento ng kanyang buhay. At sa bawat gabi, bago matulog ay di ito nakakalimot na magpasalamat sa Panginoon sa natagpuang pamilya na tunay na nagmamahal sa kanya.
I wanted to make sure she knew everything from from day one, when it all happened. And when she was, old enough to where she could understand. So that's when I said, okay, come here, sit down, let's talk. So Dad and I were there, and I said, hey, let's talk to her. She was about 6 or 7 years old at that time. So I showed her all the paperwork, all the documents. And I said, remember when we flew to Manila, we went to the courtroom? That were the 2 ladies that were up there. That was when the judge would say, yes, approved. Mr. William David Lyons Sr. and Maria C. Lyons are now going to be your parents. And then she goes, so tell me about the storm. So I would show her pictures of the storm, videos. And then she asked me, so my parents are gone? I said, yes, they are. They're up in heaven. And to where she is today, she's 10 years old. She's very aware of everything. I'm making sure that she's aware of her surroundings, the gift, the blessings that God has given her. And when she and I pray at night, she'll always end it. Thank you, Mother Mary, for choosing my mom to be my mom. And I would say, thank you, Mother Mary, for giving me Rosamia, to putting me at the right place at the right time. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your life, take you wonder by wonder, oversight.
Tila tadhana nga ang marahil ang may akda ng pagtatagpo ni Maria at Rosamia sa pagpanaw ng kanyang asawang si David, at dahil may sari-sarili ng pamilya na rin ang kanyang mga anak. Tanging kay Rosamia na lamang umiikot ang buhay ngayon ni Maria. Sa kasalukuyan dito sa Phoenix, Arizona, itinayo ni Maria ang kanilang mga bagong pangarap para sa kinabukasan ni Rosamia. Si Rosamia, katulad ng mga karaniwang bata, ay nag-aaral na ngayon at masaya sa piling ng kanyang ina at mga kaibigan. Wala na ang mga bakas ng kanyang pinagdaanan. Wala na ang mga sugat ng kanyang nakaraan. Larawan si Rosamia ngayon ng isang magandang kinabukasan. Naway muling nakapulutan ng aral at inspirasyon ang kwento na ibinahagi namin sa inyo ngayon. Ang Profile Overseas Diaries ay laging handa at bukas para sa ating mga kababayan na nagnanais magbahagi ng kanilang kwento ng buhay. Mag-email lang sa pmma.usa22@gmail.com. At upang mapanood ang lahat ng aming mga episodes, bisitahin lang ang aming YouTube channel. I-type lang ang Profile Overseas Diaries. Makisuyo na rin na i-like, mag-subscribe at pindutin ang aming notification button para kung may mga bago kaming istorya, una kang makakaalam. You can also visit our website basta't isulat lamang sa search engine ang pmma.usa.mozillaside.com kung saan mababasa naman ninyo ang iba pa naming istorya. We also have our Facebook page. Muli, maraming salamat. Ako si Dong Robles.